What's going on, y'all? This is your boy Marky D. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning because this is when I got free time to actually get these videos done. Don't mind the hoodie. Accidentally ripped it. It's one of my favorites. So I gotta get me a new one. Got the Run the Jewels symbol on there. So I gotta get me a new one. It's actually one of my favorite ones. But try to get these videos out once a week, and that failed miserably because of me fighting being sick and fighting sleep with my job and being an adult. So finally, I got some time to get these videos off. I'm trying to get at least 3 out this weekend. So this is the first. So I was going to do 2 topics on this video, but I had to split them up because this video will probably be way longer than I want it to be. So it's going to be one topic, and then the other topic was a separate video. But what I am going to go into is I'm going to go into a little bit of Drake's album. I gave it 2 listens so far, and give you a little insight on things around that as it pertains to that. Like my phone and my iPod. So let's get into it. So before I actually really get into it, those who know me know I'm not an R&B fan. So Drake's album, I like the concept of him going rap one side, R&B another side. Because me being just a hip hop fan, that kind of made me say, okay, you know what? I'm intrigued. I'm interested to see what you're going to bring. As it pertains to Drake, the artist, I do critique him a lot. I've been called a Drake hater by many. But my whole thing is that I hold people to a high standard when it comes to hip hop, and my taste in hip hop is, I call myself a very high maintenance with my music. My taste in hip hop is strictly about the words, the lyrics, and other things mixed here and there depending on my mood. But a lot of artists I listen to are underground artists, along with some that's mainstream. I don't fuck with a lot of the new artists that are out here because what the fuck are y'all talking about? Is all I got to say. Most of my artists that connect with me, I like what they're talking about, so that's why it connects with me personally. So when it came to Drake, I critiqued Drake on him saying he's a hip hop artist. And a lot of people like come at me because they say, well, he doesn't have a genre, his music's for everybody, this, that, and the third. And my whole thing is that I critique him only as a hip hop artist. To me, a lot of his shit sound like he's a pop artist. But I critique him only as he comes as a hip hop artist. So I don't put him on a lot of lists and top categories when it comes to hip hop because of that. Overall, I think he's a great artist as what he does in his craft and everything. But I think he's a mediocre hip hop artist because I feel like he doesn't step to the plate and deliver like other artists do that strictly stick to hip hop as a whole. So that's why I critique him a lot. And it seems like a lot of people eyes he can't do no wrong because he's Drake and he makes good music, and that's fine. But I have my opinion, and I'm expressing what my opinion is. And just like people say, you don't like my opinion, whatever. You don't like my opinion, you can fuck off too. That's all I gotta say. That's my opinion. Y'all can enjoy the music. I'm going to enjoy the music the way I want to enjoy it. So that's just a little inside of that. But in pertaining to his album, because I don't like R&B, side B as he call it, I'm not gonna get into that. There was a couple songs off of there that I left on my iPod, but I didn't listen to them. So I'm only gonna go to side A. Side A, I gave 2 listens, and first listen, basically it wasn't nothing to jump out on. When he jumped out and said he's on a rap album, after putting the Duppy freestyle, this to Pusha T, and then saying this, I figured like maybe, he'll go this route where he's actually rapping more hard and, it's doing things of that sort. Obviously you can tell that Push really made him go back into the lab and redo some things. Because a lot of tracks he started to reference his being a father, and it makes you wonder, before he had this set to push this out 2 weeks ago, was he saying this stuff about his son then, or did Push come at him and he's like, oh shit, let me switch this shit up, let me let people know, whatever. So you definitely tell Push had an influence on him, maybe switching some things up on the album, but to me it still has that mediocre Drake taste to it, where he doesn't go his full potential. Like I heard him on like, Summer 16 or 5 a.m. Toronto and 4 a.m. Calabasas, or joints like that, the Lucy's that he just lets out and not on albums, or stuff like that. So pretty much breaking it down, the intro, Survival, really good intro as far as that goes. I can't fault him for his intros. For the most part, Drake has delivered on most, if not all, his intros, in my eyes. So I can't fault him for that. He's actually good as far as starting albums off. My critique is always, the singing and the Jamaican shit, where the Caribbean, where the fuck he was doing, and then, just not lyrically showing it. You lyrically are a beast. You're just doing all this other bullshit. As it keeps going, I mean, Nonstop wasn't really nothing to smoke at. Elevate kind of up and down. I played it for my wife and she liked it, but she didn't like. Obviously, she didn't like Nonstop, but she felt Elevate. So that's to me hit or miss. Motionless, I like that. God's Plan and I'm Upset pretty much was his radio joint. She just tossed him out the door. 8 out of 10 was good. Felt like he was doing too much with the little skit at the end, basically like it sounded like I don't gotta respond to y'all, whatever. And then you go down Bob Ties, Can't Take a Joke. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. It depends on the mood. Sandra's Rose was alright. He was saying some stuff on there. And Talk Up had Jay-Z in it. To me, Jay-Z just be killing Drake on these assisted songs that Drake be putting them on. And you look at Pound Cake and I can't think of the song on his on Drake's first album. I mean, Jay-Z, he just pretty much takes over on all those. Light Up song, his first album that Jay-Z was on. And I mean, Pound Cake, Jay-Z killed. Light Up, he killed his verse on that, and he killed his verse on this. And when he put out the line saying, y'all killed X, but not Zimmerman. The streets is dumb, or the streets is done. I mean, I mean, what else can you say? I mean, people know me is I'm real pro-black, and I'm real against the black on black crime, and just thinking of stuff like that. Like, I mean, we don't hesitate to take out each other, but we allow some other shit to happen. That's a conversation for another day. But that should hit everybody. Um, that should hit everybody a certain way. And then pretty much it ends with is there more? So it's a hit or miss, but to me, when it came to the lyrics and it came to the delivery, it gave me a feeling like this is mediocre Drake. I feel like the concept was good, but I feel like it's still the same old you, and leaves me wanting more from him. But for Drake fans, I was on Twitter last night after the drop, and it seemed like it was only two reactions. It's either you felt it was mediocre, it wasn't nothing that you spell at, or you overhyped it and you thought it was the best thing ever. And I'm just like, I guess it's the Drake fans for you, because, like I said, he can do no wrong, and this is what it felt like. It felt like it didn't matter how it sounded. He's Drake, and he can do no wrong. It's hot regardless, whatever. But in my opinion, it was just it's kind of mediocre. It's kind of in the middle. And I didn't voice too much of my opinions in it. I wanted to keep it short and simple because I didn't want, the backlash to come from a bunch of Drake fans on Twitter about this shit. So I was just like, this is what I feel. Bam, 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 boom, boom, clean my hands with it. So, so I had some opinions, and somebody asked me on Facebook, what other projects came out from people is better than this Drake album? Because I said that easily it doesn't make my top 10. I already knew from the jump it wasn't going to make my top 5 because of how I felt and how I felt about other projects. And my opinion on projects, for you to make a top 5, first I have to like you. And if I don't like you, you got to put out something real good for me to put it up there. But people in my top 5, it's people more that I gear to and I like. And then it's more to the quality of their projects. So easily I said he doesn't make my top 10. And I was asked this question, like, well, you basically like, well, who do you think is better? So the list I pulled up basically came off my head first. And this is not, maybe not my top 10. It definitely won't be my top 10 at the end of the year. Really depends on who drops. I mean, Schoolboy Q looks like he might be dropping the joint. You never know who else is going to drop. So, off the top of my head, I just thought of 10 joints that pretty much 10 joints that I played the most. Besides Push It, because the only reason I put his stuff on there, he got 7 tracks, but he was just one of the people that he was one of the people who came to my head first. And even though I don't really call his thing an album because of the 7 tracks, I feel like there's a whole him and Drake beef that was recent. You gotta put them in a comparison a little bit. But I definitely think Daytona is better than this. So 7 tracks or not, I think Daytona is better. I'm not going to put Daytona up there as being album of the year candidate because I can't judge you off of 7 tracks. If I judge anybody off of that many tracks, then I would have to redo my top 5 from last year because Skyzoo put out an EP that was 8 tracks, and I thought that was the best project that dropped last year but I didn't put it in the album of the year candidate because of that, because of the EP. So that's something I'm gonna do later on as far as rehash that. But um, Daytona is better. Um, this is not in order, but this is just in order how I wrote them on Facebook. J. Cole, KOD. I mean, to me, that definitely is a candidate in my top 5. Um, I bumped that a lot, and just from the substance and the content of that, that definitely is better. J. Cole really, just from how he just came out of nowhere and said he was dropping it and the whole concept and everything, better. J Rock album came out the 15th. Is that 2 weeks? About 2 weeks ago. Um, yeah, 2 weeks ago because Drake's albums will drop the same day. But J. Cole, a J Rock album, definitely hotter. Definitely hotter. Man, that is definitely hotter. To show you the greediness of J Rock and his lyrics and his growth. And it's been about 3 years, almost 3 years since he dropped his last album. So it was definitely a long time. Worth the wait. Both were Royce the 5'9" joints. So he dropped Prime 2 first. And if you are a Royce the 5'9" fan or someone who likes looking for somebody who can rap, definitely look for him. And this Prime joint, Prime 1 was, to me, the album of the year when it dropped. Just off just what he did, him and DJ Premier, just off what they did together on that was just amazing. So Prime 2, when it was announced they were going to do a second one, I was hyped. And I was looking for it immediately. And when it finally came out, you could tell it was a whole different concept as far as the first one than this one. The first one was kind of more gritty and more straight hardcore, and the features were more of a different level. But this one, from top to bottom, to me, was a masterpiece as it is. And then Book of Ryan right now is my album of the year as it stands today. Book of Ryan is Royce 5'9", basically giving you a little background of his upbringing and the story of him. And anytime somebody puts out an album and it feels like they're telling you a story, doesn't matter telling you a story of life or just a story, whatever. Kendrick dropped Good Kid, Mad City. It was basically a whole story, and from top to bottom, you tell that was a masterpiece. It was amazing. This is his amazing piece of work that Royce the 5'9" put out. So that right there is my album year. Anybody who likes hip hop, I would tell you listen to that first out of all the joints that I've listened to this year, because that is hot. And Flatbush Zombies, Vacation in Hell, and I put my cousin Darren on this, and I tried to put my boy Luke on this, but basically Flatbush Zombies, I started listening to them when Hip Hop DX did their end of the year mixtape rankings, and they had the hottest mixtape of whatever year it was with Drugs. So I started listening from that, and these boys can rap. And forget about what they're talking about, the name and everything. These boys can rap and they be saying some shit. So when they was pushing this album out, first song they put out was Headstone, and in their verses they reference a lot of classic hip hop songs and albums or whatever in their lyrics, but they put in the names in their lyrics in a way, and it's the hottest shit ever heard. And they put a video out and everything. So I was like, damn. So I anticipated this probably the most out of all these joints after that one song. But top to bottom, it got about 19 songs, and is collectively, it's my second favorite album. Was my first until Book of Ryan dropped, but it's collectively my second favorite album that came out this year. Just from everything. You don't know about the group. It's three dudes, and got Michi Darko, Zombie Juice, and Eric the Architect. And the Architect pretty much just does all their beats. On this album, there's a couple beats he didn't do, but he pretty much does all their beats. He is a beast at rapping. He's a beast at making beats. But again, you gotta listen to yourself. I'm not gonna get too many details about that because this is not what this is about. Skyzoo, who at the end of last year, beginning of this year, was my favorite rapper, and he's an artist that is New York, Brooklyn, from top to bottom. He's an artist that I feel like has the best beat selection out of all his joints that I heard, and he's just raw, and he's just, again, New York, from New York, Brooklyn. And to me, this reminds me of when you sit back and you listen to some of the classic Jay-Z joints, Reasonable Doubt, and like the Volume 2s and stuff like that. That's what reminds me of listening to him, and that's why he became one of my favorite rappers. Everybody know my favorite rappers all the time are Nas and Lupe, but he just reminds me like going back and listen to old Jay-Z albums, but with a better beat selection, and just, the lyrics are this generation of lyrics. So his joint in Celebration of Me, he starts it out basically like his dad, talking about his life and everything, but this is a joint that, he paints a picture also. And anytime an artist paints a picture, I'm always hooked, because you give me some kind of substance, you give me something to think about. And most of the time, I listen to music, I'm either at work or home doing nothing. So I have a lot of time to think. And Elzhi dropped, I think it was called Jericho Jackson. For those who know who Elzhi is a fucking beast at rapping. So there's no way that a guy who, to me, doesn't put his full foot forward in rapping is going to be over a guy that can rap and put out a piece of work that is a piece of work. And this Jericho Jackson joint was just a piece of work. And Elzhi, a couple joints of his thing, he just touched on a lot of stuff. So he definitely is in my top 10. The only reason I put Logic's Bobby Tarantino 2 in here is because, like I said, it's off the top of my head, it is one of my favorite joints that came out this year. But I don't really put mixtapes against albums unless it sounds like an album. Even though Bobby Tarantino 2 has its own original beats. This is just Logic having fun, but you listen to Drake shit. Obviously a lot of songs seem to have fun. The only difference between him and Logic is Logic lyrically still gives you what you're looking for, while Drake, it just seems like he's just whatever. Radio gonna play it, my fans gonna play it. Fuck cares. I'm not looking for anybody else. I'm not looking to do too much. And last person, Nino Bless, put out Illuminati Reject 2. And Nino Bless can really rap, and he puts a lot of substance in his music. And his joint from top to bottom is pretty good. He got a lot of joints on there that are like 6 minutes, and he said a lot of shit on it. Um, so that was basically a short list of top 10 albums, 10 joints that I got off the top of my head when somebody asked me whatever it was. So um, that's basically all I got. I don't really have too much to really say about this Drake album. I only gave 2 listens. I may give it a third, but I've been just listening to a bunch of other random stuff here and there. So it's really hard to get my opinion too much off of 2 listens. But off of 2 listens, I mean, it's not making my top 10. It's not nothing really special. To me, it's just another Drake album, and that's pretty much it. So, I mean, you want to leave some feedback, you want to ask me some questions about some other joints or whatnot, hit me in the comments, look me on Twitter at villain, the word dash anti is my Twitter name. I'm gonna get my daughter to make me a banner to put my social media accounts on there and just hold it up so y'all can just, save and follow me. But everything's a work in progress. But I'm back, and I'm gonna try to get on these joints more consistently and get my word, my feed out there for y'all so y'all can see my opinions more on things and get the topics out, the list of topics. I just gotta get the time to get them out so y'all can hear my words on things and y'all see where I'm coming from with some things. But like I said, this is video 1 of 3 I'm trying to do, maybe 4 since this one's supposed to be split in 2. But a lot of shit's dated. That's why I couldn't really do many topics I wanted to do. I had to scrap some topics and some things I had to think about and want to talk about or not. But getting out there, and again, I'm trying. If you got any topics that you want me to express about, I mean, just hit me up, let me know. I'll look it over, get some research, and I'll be back on here. But again, for all those who are watching me and subscribing to my channel and supporting me, I thank y'all. Shout out to y'all. And regardless I got fans or not, I'm gonna keep doing this because what else am I gonna do? That's basically what I say. So peace to y'all. It's at 2 a.m. So we out.